Hello and welcome back to DevOps Fundamentals by SkillSpeed. In this video, we are going to talk about installation and configuration of Jenkins. Now, there are multiple ways to install Jenkins and it supports multiple platforms. As you can see on screen, it has got support for most of the available platforms today. For example, Docker, OpenSUSE, Red Hat, Ubuntu, Windows. Pretty much any platform which has got Java enabled, it will support that platform. In fact, you can download a generic Java package, which is a .var file, and you can install that on pretty much any of the operating systems. This is one of the screenshots taken from the official Jenkins website, and irrespective of the platform which you choose, the first step is to download the appropriate Jenkins installation file as per the platform which you have. So for example, if you want to work on Docker, you have a Docker image available. If you want to work on Red Hat, you have an RPM package which you can download. If you want to install Jenkins on Ubuntu, you have a .deb package which you can download and work with. Similarly, for Windows, you have an MSI or an exe package. Now, once you have downloaded the package, the next step would be to install the Jenkins software. And once again, depending on which platform you are installing, you will use the appropriate command or the procedure to complete the process. So for example, if you have downloaded the var file, you can use the java -jar jenkins.var command, which will install the Jenkins executables on the machine on which you are running this command. If you have downloaded the RPM package, let's say for Red Hat or CentOS machines, then you need to work with the RPM command or yum command. Similarly, if you have downloaded this for Ubuntu machine, then you need to work with the .deb package, and you can use the dpkg command, or you can use apt-get package manager to do the installation. So once the installation is complete, you can access the Jenkins instance via any web browser. And if you are accessing it on the same machine on which you have installed, then you can use the localhost. And if you are accessing it from a remote machine, then you need to give the appropriate IP address or the host name of that machine. What you need to remember is that you need to suffix :8080 port, because 8080 is the default port for Jenkins. Of course, you can change it if you need to, but by default, when you install the Jenkins for the first time, this is the web location or the web URL where you need to go in order to access your Jenkins instance. And once you access, there are a couple of post installation steps which you need to complete. Basically, it will configure Jenkins for you, and there will be a couple of default plugins which you will be installing. And once that is done, it will prompt you to create a username for yourself, which will typically be the admin user which you will be creating. And once that is done, you are good to go with Jenkins. And this is what you get once all the installation is complete. This is one of the default pages of Jenkins which you see on your screen once the installation and configuration is complete for the Jenkins software. So let's take a look how exactly things are done with the help of our demo. Alright, so here I am on one of the machines, and this is a EL7, and if I want to check the exact version of the machine, which OS it is, I can check it out with this command. And as you can see, this is CentOS 7.3, the version of the machine or the OS. So I would need an RPM package to work with on this machine. So let's see how to get the installation packages for Jenkins. So this is the official page for Jenkins, and if you click on the download button, you will see that we have all those options which we have just seen in the screenshot, and you have multiple options. So in our case, we would like to download the Red Hat package, and as you can see here, this is the place from where I can download the RPM package and install the machine as well. So here I am on my node 1 on which I want to install Jenkins. As we have already seen, this is a CentOS 7 machine. What else I need to make sure is that this machine should have Java installed. So if I use this command to check the Java version, I can see that I have Java 1.8 installed on this machine, which is good to go. If you don't have any Java install, you can use sudo yum install Java or sudo apt-get install Java, or if you are on Windows, you can directly download the Java package and install it. So based on your operating system, you need to make sure that you have the Java installed. Again, the instructions are available on the internet. It's pretty easily available how to install Java on any of the flavors of operating system. And you need to make sure that your Java is 1.7 or above. 1.7 is a bare minimum which you need to have, preferably 1.8 and above. So once we have Java installed, the next step would be to download the Jenkins package and install it. So for that, I go back to the page where I have Jenkins. Now once again, I have two options. I can directly download any of these RPM packages which you see on a screen, and go ahead with the RPM command to install the package. For example, RPM minus UVH and the package name. Or else, let's say I want to install through the yum repository. So for that, again, the command is given here. If you see at the top, I can simply copy this command, which will update the yum repository, and it will tell from where from the Red Hat repository the Jenkins package has to be downloaded. It will update my local yum repository. So I just need to run this command once, and once that is done, I need to make sure that the key is also installed. Once again, just run this command and it will take care of everything. So we are good to go now, and if I just use sudo yum install Jenkins, and let's say I put -y so that it doesn't ask me again for the confirmation, hit enter, and it should take about a minute or so. So I will pause the video and we will resume once everything is done. Alright, so the installation is complete. It took me approximately about 3 minutes to complete the whole procedure, and it says that Jenkins installation has been completed successfully, and the version which has been installed is 2.89 on this machine. And if I want to check if the Jenkins service is running or not, okay, I can even use service or systemctl as well. So let's do sudo ctl. Alright, so no message, so that would mean that something has been done in the background, and if I check the status, it tells me that the service is up and running for Jenkins. So now is the time for me to go to the next step, which is access the Jenkins instance through a web browser. And since I'm going to access it on my laptop, I need the IP address of this virtual machine. So if I do ifconfig, I get the IP address. I will copy this, and now it's time to go to the web browser. And as you can remember, I need to suffix 8080 to this URL. Alright, so first time when you install Jenkins, this is the message you will be greeted with. What basically Jenkins wants to make sure is that you are the correct person who is accessing this instance, because as of now, whoever has the URL can access this instance. So there is no security measurement at the moment in place. There is no access control at this point in time available on this machine. So I will simply copy this address. It tells me to put an admin password, which I can find on the machine itself, and for that I need to just do a sudo cat, and if I do that, it gives me this alphanumeric value, which is basically at this location this initial admin password is located, which is again unique for every new Jenkins instance. So I'll copy this, I'll go back to my URL to the web browser, paste it, click on continue. So this is, we are going through the post installation procedure of Jenkins. Jenkins instance has been installed successfully. We just need to do a couple of post installation tasks and we will be ready to roll. So now we have two options. We have install suggested plugins, and it will give a list of plugins which I can select and install. So let's choose the second option, and it tells me what are the plugins it is going to install. I have an option of selecting or unselecting those options. So what I can do is I can keep all of them. The default ones should be absolutely fine, because this is based on the usage what Jenkins company has collected over the years, that these are the most commonly used plugins. So if you are not have any specific requirement, for example, if you are working on .NET based projects, then you need to make sure MS Build plugin or Node.js plugin is installed. But so far, if you don't have any specific requirement or any specific constraints, then we are good to go. We can just leave everything as it is, because anyways we can install or uninstall any plugin later on as well. So I'll click on install, and it is giving me the list of plugins which it is going to install on this machine. So once again, it is going to take some time, and one by one it will install the plugin, and it will give me the report. So once the plugin is installed, it will go green, and on your right hand side you can see the output coming in for each of the plugin. So once again, I'll pause the video, and we will resume once everything has been done. Alright, so the process has been completed, and now Jenkins prompts me to create the first user, or basically the root user. So I'll create a username for myself. I will give a password as well. And I'll give the full name and the email address as well. So everything looks good. I click on save and finish. Alright, so Jenkins is ready. The setup is complete. And if I click on start using Jenkins, it takes me to the home page of Jenkins. So that's it for the Jenkins installation and configuration demo in this video. We will take a look at a couple of things in Jenkins. For example, if you see on a screen, this is the main page of Jenkins where you have a couple of items. So new item is to create a new Jenkins job. Manage Jenkins is like the Jenkins control panel, something like what you have in Windows. So any settings, any configuration you need to do in Jenkins, you need to go to this tab. It tells me the master and the slave where exactly the build executors are located. And if you go to the next screen, we have the color coded combinations or the possibilities. In this case, I have a couple of jobs which I have taken a screenshot from. So blue one means the last build was successful. Red one means that the last build had failed. The second column, which shows in the weather format, it tells me that it tells the trend of the last 5 builds basically. So if it is full, bright and sunny, that would mean that all recent builds have passed, and if it is cloudy and thunderstorm or raining, that would mean that couple of builds have failed in the recent past, or maybe all of the builds have failed in the recent past. So that's it from the perspective of Jenkins installation and configuration. We will continue our Jenkins journey in the next video. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.